Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Norm's Friends. Grab a seat, relax, join in the fun. I'm David B., the readings guy, 603-404-9338. Today, my guest, the hardest working artist in the country. Take it away. Let them know who you are.
Hey, I'm Anthony. I'm a longtime muralist in Manchester, and I'm just trying to push Mother Nature a little faster into spring. And I got a gift from another artist that was on my show, Art Expressions, and after Dave is through, and then he'll give me time to show you everything that I need to do. I'm hooked to a mic now. Anyway, I have a piece of artwork, like I said, from Joan Skill, and she was on my show. Oh, it's been a month or so ago, and she sent me something in the mail, and it's really beautiful. And then later on in the show, when Dave is done, he'll let me show you this beautiful piece of artwork.
And it is, I can vouch.
Just really nice.
All right, so we'll start with the usual, the famous quote, and then the fun facts. And the fun facts relate to what I say repeatedly on here, Anthony. And by the way, when I'm reading them, feel free to jump in and comment on them if you want.
Oh, okay.
All right? And even you can even comment on the famous quote. All right? To me, the famous quote, just so you know, to me, it's sort of, when I read it, I said, oh, this is perfect, because it just hit me. It's like, it's for woke people.
Oh.
All right? Any fool can know. The point is to understand. Who do you think said that?
No idea.
Come on, take a guess. You know.
Donald Trump?
No.
Could be anybody on the
Right. It's Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein.
Yeah, any fool can know, which is true. The point is to understand.
That makes sense for me.
Right? Because a lot of people, right, they think they know it all, but they don't understand it. All right. So, feel free to jump in and comment, because some of them are, lengthy. Today, the fun facts are about ego. We all know what an ego is, because we all have one. All right. Excuse me.
Ego. Isn't it about that big around? It's got 4 or 5 legs on it.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was in the 70s, the group Skyhooks.
Skyhooks.
They were from Australia. Their first album, Ego is Not a Dirty Word. That's pretty cool. But anyway, so the fun facts today are about ego, all right? First, number 1, you have an ego. Pay attention, everyone. Just like you have a car and a house, you also have an ego. And just as you are not your car and you are not your house, you are also not your ego. This is a simple but crucial insight. Many can go through their entire life and not come to realize this simple truth. It's sad. It's true, though. Our false identification with our ego is the source of endless confusion and misery. So true. We are a soul, not an ego. The sooner we learn this distinction, the better.
Makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Fun fact number 2. The ego has its own agenda, and I say that a lot. It always wants to control. The ego's interests and our interests are different. Sadly, we do not realize this, and we make our ego's priorities our own. We spend our entire life chasing after goals that belong to the ego and not us. Right? We do. The ego is about power and attention. The soul is about love and happiness. Yet, invariably, we choose power and attention over love and happiness. Not everyone. No, I haven't. I've learned.
No comment, no comment.
All right. All right. Fun fact number 3. This is a lengthy one, so you really have to pay attention now. Don't sink too far into that recliner. The ego will make your life miserable, and it will. If we do not wake up to the futility of following the ego's agenda, we shall end up in a very sad and lonely place. The ego is all about a boundary within which the ego identity resides. The ego then requires that we spend all our energy defending this boundary. This makes us ever vigilant against even the smallest slight against us. Remember, oh, he dissed me, you dissed me.
Yeah.
All right? This oversensitivity to real and perceived insults gets us into unneeded fights. The whole country's like that, right? I'm offended.
Yeah.
We slowly begin to lose friends and loved ones to unnecessary squabbles. Woke versus unwoke. In addition, the ego wants to expand its boundary by seeking to dominate those around it. It's true.
Right.
This makes us insensitive and incapable of listening to other people's problems.
Right. It's all about me.
Yeah, instead, we only want others to hear what we have to say. Nobody wants to be in the company of such people, and slowly our friends and loved ones begin to distance themselves from us. As a result, love dries up from our lives and we end up lonely, isolated, and unhappy. Excuse me. Well, we do. Fun fact number 4. Reducing your ego will make you successful and happy.
Makes sense, yeah. I mean,
Look,
think
right
of-
here, good example.
yeah. Think about people. I was just thinking, in the Wild West days, how many men died because of their ego in a gunfight in the middle of the street? It was legal back then because somebody, yeah. You
Right.
called me what? And you have a few drinks, you go out and it's your ego. And then you
Yeah.
wake up from a drunk and the sheriff goes, welcome aboard.
That's right.
What do you mean I killed somebody? Oh, no.
When the size of our ego reduces, we find that love in our life multiplies. That's true.
Right.
This happens because we are less defensive and more capable of empathy. We become more approachable, less self-obsessed, and fun to be around. Our support structure increases, making us happier and more successful. That's all true.
Huh?
Finally, fun fact number 5 for egos. Ego feeds on stress. Ego causes stress in your lives. This happens because we become engrossed in defending our ego identity. We constantly feel threatened and under attack and find the stress response being constantly triggered. As we swim in stress, our thinking becomes clouded. We become incapable of finding our way out of our ego-driven antics, and consequently, our ego remains strong and dominates our lives. Stress becomes a blockage and prevents the soul from expressing itself. So, as I say all the time during readings or just when I'm, got the floor here by myself, what I always say, again, you have to nourish your soul, your spirit, your inner self, whatever you want to call it. And what do I also always say? You can't let your ego, get control. You control the ego. The ego always, your soul steers you in the right direction. Your ego doesn't because it wants to remain in control all the time.
Right.
So there's the fun facts for today.
Oh, your ego's also tied with your self-worth of what you think you are compared to other people and other entities of this. But an ego is something that will destroy you after a while.
It will.
You need to kind of, take it easy. And what I do, is I put myself in another person's position so I know how they feel.
Yeah.
And some people, I mean, like in the old days, you know, the king wanted your head chopped off, you got your head chopped off because I'm king.
That's right.
Now the high technology is going, I'm God. Don't forget it.
That's right. And they want your head chopped off.
Yeah.
Depending on
Or
how you see things.
dissect you and sell your body parts.
Right. I was just reading that last year in China. They murdered 100,000 of their citizens to harvest organs. Imagine.
Yep. It's going on in the United States too. People, especially young people, children especially, are disappearing every day from almost every major city in the United States and around the world, France, Italy. And they're finding some of these children in slave camps. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I
What
believe
they do
it.
to people? I mean, that's another story, but it's just, where has mankind gone? You know?
But you know, when I was in covering grand jury all those years, right?
Right.
This is in Mass, naturally. In Mass, I remember talking to a statey because one it was about a missing kid in Lowell, and it was, you know, he was scooped off of Facebook. You know, that's how they scooped him. But anyway, what this statey was telling me was, he says, you know, these people, it's like the kids don't show up one day, and you know, he says it's sad, they're in a panic and stuff. But he says, every one of those kids that goes missing, he says they're being watched for like months before they finally.
It's something that's been going on for a long time. And then they opened up one case, which opened up hundreds of cases, and the FBI says it's a big problem.
Well, part of it, I think, is because parents don't care what the kids are doing. They're on Facebook, they're giving out this info, they're giving out that info.
You got TikTok and
Wow, excuse
all
me.
this other stuff. What's that new one now that, in fact, they want to get rid of TikTok.
Right,
What they're
except some of the
showing-
Democrats now, they're objecting. Imagine,
well.
of course.
What they're doing to these children is ungodly, in my opinion.
Right, just a quick aside.
Yeah.
So for readings today, we could do the optical calcite. I can give a reading with that. Or we can give a reading with this nice little piece of fluorite. Or soul cards, the gold and silver, black and silver, black and gold. What am I talking about?
Uh-oh.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Norm's Friends. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. It's the energy lady. How you doing, guys?
I'm doing fine.
Hi, good. I knew that was her. I just had that feeling. That's her, the energy lady.
Right, I know. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm very well. What's on your mind today, Energy Lady?
What mine?
It's gone.
On
Uh-oh.
my mind. Can you give me a reading?
Okay, well, you have a choice. Soul cards, optical calcite, fluorite. You choose, and I'll see what
I'll do
happens.
it fluorite.
All right, let's see. It's nice and green. You can see, what's that, opaque? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Oh, a nice piece of opaque green fluorite. Let's see what's coming on. Okay, well, first of all, right away, of course, it's natural for you for all the time, right? I see somebody reaching out. They're reaching out. They need help. They need comfort. Right up your alley. So get ready for that. But I'm going to say that must happen to you quite a bit because your energy is just spectacular. It's nice and strong. I can see that in here. We know that. All right. So let's big, nice and bold here. AC. So I would suggest perhaps maybe, because spring's going to be here before you know it, and so is the hot, humid weather, you might want to check out that air conditioner and make sure it's in working order now as opposed to when you need it, so you don't panic. Or If then someone with the initials AC means anything, there you have it. Well, I see a cat also. I don't know what the meaning of the cat is, but that's in here loud and clear. I see a beautiful cat, this cat, whoever has this cat, I'm going to say they might think that something might be amiss with this cat. Tell them not to worry about this cat. This cat is perfect. There's nothing wrong with this cat at all. I also see, all right, I see a little change coming up also for you. Naturally, a nice positive change in the right direction, but I see that some little type of improvement coming ahead in the not too distant future. Who's into, I also see flower garden, somebody who's into flowers. I see all that coming up, probably because it's springtime, somebody getting that, and they're going to have a nice good results with their efforts when it comes to their flower garden. I can see lots and beautiful flowers coming up, so they'll be happy with that. Here we go again. What's up with the squirrels? There's something going on with squirrels in your neighborhood or your house or your apartment or your condo or whatever it is. But what's up with the squirrels? He's back again. And let's see. All right, and here's the last thing. I'm going to end with this. All right? I see a new pair of shoes coming your way. There you have it. Could you take anything of that from that?
Oh, I must be doing a lot of walking.
Well, I don't know, but I see some new shoes coming your way. See what happens. And check that air
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. What? What? Hello?
Hello?
Yes? What? I didn't hear what you said.
I said I must be doing a lot of walking with those new shoes.
Right, I said, but then you said something else.
No?
Didn't she say something else? I'm not hearing things, Energy Lady. Come on.
Oh my goodness. I didn't say anything else.
Yeah. Are you sure?
I'm positive.
It must be the warm
You talked
weather.
about the shoes. I said, oh, I must be getting a brand new pair of shoes. I must be doing a lot of walking.
Well, are you going to be? So there you go.
Can I ask you a question?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How come you always say at the end of the show you can't be stupid? Or something like that. What's that supposed to mean?
It means you can't be dumb if you want to be free. You can't be dumb if you want to be free. And that's what these people are doing. That's how they're people don't want to hear about election fraud or this or that. But
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
right, but it's, dumb people. Dumb people. You can't be dumb if you want to be free. You have to know what your rights are and what your liberties are and what the law is.
But
And
whoa. We know what our rights are and what our liberties are. We
Right.
all have our own choices.
well, that's
We
true.
can't go all the way what other people want us to be.
Exactly. But that's you and I. There's a lot of people out there that don't have a clue what's in the Constitution, what their rights are. People don't realize that. People don't understand. Will say that politicians are there to serve us, not us to serve the politicians, and that's why there's all this turmoil.
Whoa. It goes both ways. What do you mean? If it wasn't for us, how could they serve without us?
Well, exactly. But once they get into office, look at them. They have disregard for the people of this country. Look at, we'll say, what I'm against is, they have $150 billion for Ukraine, but they have no money for these poor people in East Palestine, Ohio, to help them clean up that toxic waste.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. It's who we are.
I'm not saying, yeah, but see, I'm not saying anything about political parties. I'm talking about if you can't be dumb if you want to be free, and that's what I'm saying. It's the way it is today. Isn't think about it. Look at even the senators, the 2 senators from New Hampshire. They're all up here telling they're going to do this and they're going to do that. Vote for me. Vote for me. Once the election is over, look at you don't hear a peep from them, and they don't care like what people think about the ESG agenda, how ridiculous and unfounded it is. It's got no scientific basis and facts to back it up. But yet, because they're in Washington, D.C., they vote for it. It's like they don't care about their constituents. And why? Because people are acting dumb. That's all I'm saying.
But one person can't do it all. We have to do it together.
I understand that. But, when I call them, I email them, I talk to people I know, even neighbors that live in the same building. They complain about this, they complain about that. I always tell them, call your elected officials. I won't do any good. And, that's the attitude. You can't be dumb if you want to be free. And that's why they're trying to stampede over the Constitution. A good case in point is these people that want to take away guns. All these mass shootings, I don't care how many mass shootings. Legal people that are law-abiding citizens are the only ones that aren't going to have guns. All the criminals are the ones that are still going to have guns. Go down to Mass, because let's face it, I lived there for a while. I was covering grand jury for about 15 years in Middlesex County. All the guns.
No matter how much we try, you're never going to get rid of them.
Well, yeah, but they keep trying. They keep whittling away. But that's another thing. You can't be dumb if you want to be free. You got to stand up for your rights. And, there's some idiots out there that, well, I don't have a gun, so I don't care. These people. Well, who needs an AR-15? And I always say it's got nothing to do with need. It's your rights. It's got nothing to do with need.
Well, a lot of people respect their things, some don't, but you're never going to clear it that way.
Right, but, every time they will say, like, there's a mass shooting, or say, like, Biden, he's on every single one of them. Oh, we have to do this. We need gun control. We need gun control. No, they need crime control. They need crime control is what they need, not gun control. Where there's a lot of guns, look at the crime is lower. Oops. Look at New Hampshire. Right, you can go in a store and buy a gun. Look, crime is low here. You go to Texas, you can go in a store and buy a gun. Crime is low. Look at Chicago, where the strictest gun laws in the country, and look at the shootings there and who's doing it. It's not law-abiding citizens. They're buying these guns off the street. So, it's like, it's the law-abiding.
Even if they don't buy them, they can still get them. They can steal them. They can do anything. This is what I mean. This is
exactly. Yeah, but they got to get.
We're gonna do the best we can.
But they got to go. They should be talking about fighting crime as much, if not more, than the way they talk about taking away your guns. They don't.
They'll never take them away because you know what? They'll go out and get them anyhow. That's what I'm saying to you.
Wow. Yeah, but look at what they're doing now. I mean, credit card companies are reporting to the government if you purchase a gun with a credit card. They're telling the government where you live and what kind of gun you purchased. That's what I mean. You buy them on the, you buy them on the street, on the black market, which is, I don't know if you can still call it that. Is that racist?
No. It's fact.
No, don't say that word.
You buy a gun on
They're
the.
taking all the cartoons and everything away because people say black.
I know. Unbelievable. But,
All right, you're gonna let you go because I don't want to take for your whole show.
All right. Enjoy. Hey.
Blessed. Have a wonderful night. And stay happy, healthy, and strong.
Right.
Bye,
When you
Anthony.
call me
Bye.
next week, don't forget to fill me in on what kind of shoes you got.
Okay.
All right. Good night. Thanks for calling.
Yes, goodbye.
Bye. All right, Anthony, take it away.
I was going to say maybe she's getting some squirrel shoes.
Maybe, but there was a
Squirrel
squirrel in
hide.
there. Yeah, squirrel
No,
popped
never
up.
know.
So.
No, this is something that people need to consider. You know, too many people have died. This isn't the perfect country, but too many people have died to preserve what we have. And I do see, without naming names and this and that, they're trying to tear this Constitution up
They are.
and take sections out of it. And look what they're doing to young children in school. I mean, this sex thing, little girls getting operated on when they're 5 and 6 years old. There's something wrong with that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're taking away their rights to. Here's the phone again.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Norm's Friends. How are you today?
Good. How are you? It's Gina from Medford.
All right. I love people from Medford. What's going on?
What's going on? Nothing. Today we didn't have a school day off today. We had to go to school, but yesterday was a wasted day off.
Why? Why'd you get a day off yesterday?
Could you believe it? 3 inches, and people were getting scared. And the most liberal people in town were complaining that they had to go out early because they had to bring their babies to daycare.
That's unbelievable. When I was
Yep, they complained.
When I was a kid, there'd be a foot of snow. We walked to school, and boy, oh boy, there was school all the time when I was a kid. Everybody's turning up to be a wuss.
There was.
Yeah,
Didn't believe it.
I know, huh?
Waste of school day off yesterday.
Wow. And do you have to make it up at the end of the year?
Yeah, they said we did.
Cut it all. See, I'd refuse. I would just say, hey, look,
Well, what
I was ready, willing, and able, so I shouldn't have to make it up.
I know. And we have Juneteenth off, so then the next day will be the last. So we have to take Juneteenth off and then come the next day off. If we
Wow.
don't get any more snow then.
Unbelievable. They should just call.
Yeah.
Before you know it, every day is going to be a hot. Now, let me ask you this, because I know you're a teacher now. So this month last month was Black History Month. So did you have to
Yes.
do a little thing about Black History every day for the class?
Every day. Yes, every day.
So now this.
So we showed Langston Hughes, Martin Luther King. We did not show Malcolm X or any of those people, but we did show everything about Martin Luther King. And
he marched in Medford when I was a kid.
right. So my school is called Madeline Duggar Andrews. She's the first black woman teacher in the city of Medford.
Oh, good for
We
her.
went to Boston College. Yeah. So my school, so we did that. We did a little bit of that. We did a book called Roll of Thunder, Hear Me Cry, Slavery in the U.S. So we did a whole bunch of Black history curriculum this month.
Yeah. And now.
Yes.
So now for March, you're going to do women, because March is Women's History Month.
Yeah, we're going to do women history, but we're not going to do much because we're getting ready for MCAS here in Massachusetts.
Now, what's that to be? What do they have to be proficient in like math and English and science or something?
These kids are not going to be proficient in anything, trust me. They're the Zoom kids.
I believe it. I know that's too bad. See, and as I always say at the end of the show, you can't be dumb if you want to be free. The future generations aren't going to have any freedom because they're dumb.
No, they just don't know it.
Yeah.
And, they still count on their fingers. They're 13, 14 years old. They still count on their fingers. They still cannot critically think for themselves. The only thing they worry about is, pardon the expression, but sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember when I was in junior high, it was sort of, coming into a realization for me, all that stuff. But anyway,
Today
so
you could-
Tina, what else
You
is
have a
on?
card for me?
Do you want a card reading? They're soul cards.
Yes.
All right, I'll do
Okay.
a 2-card reading,
Yeah.
and we'll see. The first card and the second card is what. Well, here we are. Well, wait until you see the cards. You might not be able to see them because
I'm on the phone. Yeah.
no, but if they're like black and gold. You can't see it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you could see it, but there's really not a lot to them. But the first card I drew for you, all right? It's the 5 of Swords again. Tina, what's with all this? You're frazzling yourself out but thinking about this and thinking about that, and you're trying to
Yeah,
solve
yeah.
this and trying to solve that. And we've been down
Yeah.
this path before. There's really no reason for it. When you're trying to solve a bunch of things all at once, if you can sort of just step away with it, all right, you'll notice that and I'm getting a sense too that because it's sort of like mumbo jumbo in your head, it's like, it's sort of like a dismal prospect for you. But if you sort of just take a step back, you'll realize that it's not cloudy or dismal or dark at all. It's a lot easier than you think. And the next card here is the Hanged Man, all right? The Hanged Man. So think about it. Somebody right there just suspended. So now's a good time. What you need to do is clear the mind. Try not to think about it and just sort of, let the pieces fall where they may, and don't, take all these sort of burdens on yourself and I'm going to say a good bunch of them aren't even yours to begin with. You're sort of,
I know.
So let all that go for a while anyway.
All right.
All righty?
Thank you so much. I'll call you next week.
Okay, great. Thanks for calling. I always enjoy it. Take care.
Thank you.
Yep.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take it away, Anthony.
Where am I going to take it?
I know.
Oh, yeah.
This.
I got
Unless you want to do a reading.
a very,
Excuse me.
very beautiful gift from a lady named Joan Skill, an artist who I met. Every time I try and get out, the phone rings. Okay, I'll wait.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Norm's Friends. How are you today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm very well. You don't sound too good.
No, I'm stuffed up with a sinus cold.
See? There you have it. They're going around like wildfire.
Yeah, well, it's crazy weather, too.
It is. I'm glad it's warm, though. I'm hoping this change is quick. I'm tired. All of a sudden, the end of the winter, we're getting all this snow. It should have been here in,
Yeah.
December. So what can we do for you today?
Yeah, I like a reading, please.
All right. I'll give you a 2-card reading with the Soul deck. All right. And it'll sort of like, we'll give you a little bit of direction or whatever, what to look at. Well,
Okay.
right there.
Yeah, I kind of figured at the end of the February we'd get hit with some snow, so
Okay.
we were about due for it.
This card. All right. Well, you've got a lot. Whoa, you got a lot going on here. First of all, and I don't know why, we're starting off all right with the Queen of Wands. So to me, and psychically, so this is what I'm feeling with the Queen of Wands. All right, you sort of, if you want, you can be in control of the things that you want to be in control. You can handle all kinds of obstacles, whatever's thrown at you. You know how to work everything out. If you want, that's the key phrase here. But for some reason, at this point in time, why you're doing this, I don't know. We come up with the 9 of Swords. To me, 9 of Swords is, decisions you have to make, things that are going on in your head, your mental state at the present time. So you got the nine of swords, and if you could see it, you got 7 going up and down and 2 crossing them all. So why you're putting yourself in that sort of quagmire is beyond me. You know, go back to the first card that I mentioned, the Queen of Wands, and how nice and in control it is, and how nice and smooth everything works out. You know, you see the obstacles coming your way, you know how to avoid them, go over them, go under them, whatever it takes, instead of, or, you know, why do you want to hold on to all that mumbo jumbo and, you know, drive yourself crazy? So it's up to you, but that's the choice that you have to make. So,
Take all the obstacles out of the way.
right, well, you know, you can do it. I know you can. If you choose, though, you got to choose that. I see you can go either way here, but
Right.
all right,
Okay.
there you have it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Go.
Did what I got. Anyway, I got a beautiful gift in the mail. An artist
You
friend
gonna
of
try
mine.
and do it in 30 seconds
Yeah.
now?
Joan Skill, an artist who I've had on my show twice now. I'm going to have her on again. I got this from her. If we can get a close, this is really a beautiful piece of
It
work.
is.
It's a blue heron on wood, and she did a fantastic job. And I just wanted to say, Joan, thank you very much, and this will be cherished forever. This is awesome.
It is.
She did a great job.
Now, how did you get hooked up with her, come across her path?
You know, I'm trying to remember exactly how I met her. It must be a senior moment or something. I forget the name, but
You're allowed.
you know, she has energy, and she has that. I can tell just by talking to her, and plus on Facebook. I mean, she's really posting all these paintings and stuff. That's the energy that you need.
Mm-hmm.
And people say to me, like when here we go.
Wow.
I think it's censorship today for me.
I'm telling you, they're not artists here. Good afternoon. Welcome to Norm's Friends. How are you today?
Okay, Dave, and how are you doing this fine, miserable, rotten weather?
Mr. Whoopi, come on, it's 40 degrees out.
Where? I talked to my daughter in Georgia. She said it's 80 degrees down there.
Too hot, too hot.
She's probably out in the backyard in a hammock.
I know, imagine that. So, how have you been, Mr. Whoopi?
Okay, you know you said I was going to get a call from somebody?
Yeah,
My nephew called from Maine the other day. I haven't seen or heard from him since his father passed away over a year ago.
wow. Imagine that.
Yeah.
And what was that? How did I give you the reading? Was it
I don't know, it just says somebody was going to call a distant relative.
All
He
right.
was distant, he's up in Maine.
Well, you got the call, so thanks for the feedback. I'm always glad to get positive feedback.
Yeah.
So what's on your mind today, Mr. Whoopi?
Nothing. Just waiting. Oh, today's March 1st, right?
It is.
It's payday.
You get paid today?
Yeah,
First Wednesday of the month?
that's one of them.
Secret agent.
Right.
Yeah.
I get paid too. It's the second Wednesday of the month, but I get paid on other days too.
Yeah. It's usually the first of the month. It doesn't have to be the first, right? The next one is the second Wednesday of the month.
That's mine, the second Wednesday.
Yeah, and you can call the bank up and say, how much do I have in there? Oh, it came in early. Thank you.
Don't you bank online?
Yeah.
So why do you call the bank? Why don't you just, do do the online banking and look, oh, how much do I have? That's what I do. I'm like a little kid. I'm like a little
I don't have
kid.
a computer. I don't have a computer.
Well, yeah, but do you have a smartphone?
No, my phone is stupid.
Well, mine was until I put a few apps on it, and it smartened
Yeah.
up. It smartened up. Would you like a reading? I'll give you a one-card reading just to see.
One card, huh? That's
Yeah.
all the time you get for it, right?
Well, it's getting late. Plus, he's not getting a chance to tell us about this magnificent piece of art and the story how he met Joan and all this other stuff.
Yeah, it looks nice. A nice blue heron.
Yeah, beautiful bird.
It is.
Yeah.
All right, here. Look at the
Here it
card.
comes.
All right, the one card. Look at it. It's the Emperor.
That's me.
That is you in everything. Look at it. All you have to do, again, there's all kinds of, you want to undertake this project, or you want to take a little day trip or something, and I'm getting the sense that, for some reason, you're making it difficult, or you're always coming to, I'll do it tomorrow, I want to do this today instead, but you still have these same things going on. I want to do this, I want to get that. All you have to do is just realize that everything is within reach. All you have to do is extend your energy, and they're there waiting for you for the taking. It's that simple, Mr. Whoopi.
Right.
So there you have it. That's one card reading for today. Because boy, Anthony's he's only had about 30 seconds to give us about this this painting here, which is kind of neat. It's on a piece of wood with the bark is still on the back and everything. You've got to really see what it's like. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
I'll let you go then. Take care of it. Have a good week.
All right,
Okay.
thanks. And you, enjoy your payday.
Right.
Take
Okay.
us out to lunch.
Yeah. All right, thanks for calling. Bye.
No, I'm really, I want to thank Joan for this because it really came out really
Yeah,
good. This shows me
right.
she's serious, and I hope that she doesn't lose the energy because that's what it takes a lot of times. People that are start out in art, she's probably been doing this since she was small, and then she would stop. I'm only guessing that, but when I saw that, I go, oh, wow. I have to have this on Dave's show, and I wanted to thank her publicly, and it's a beautiful job, Joan.
It is, and when what they can't even see him, even the side here is she
Painted,
painted
too.
the side.
And
huh?
it's sealed, so
yeah,
it's not gonna
it's
rot.
beautiful. It really is.
she did a good job.
Yeah, she
And
did.
I really appreciate it. I really do. It's something that,
I always wished
Oh.
I could, have this gift, but I don't. My
Well-
father used to. I was always sort of envious because he used to. It was so effortless for
really,
him.
I think it's, in fact, I know it's a gift from God, and I'm going to use it. I mean, it's something that I love. I don't worry about being rich and famous or any of that. I really don't. It's human expression, and we need that because pretty soon, while it's already started, we're going to have artificial intelligence taking over, and
Yeah, but not only that, they won't. You can only paint certain subjects.
censorship.
Yeah,
Oh,
big
yeah.
time. It's coming. You can't be dumb if you want to be free, and there's a lot of dummies out there.
But anyway, I want to thank Joan again, and I'll see her March the 8th on my show, and she's bringing, and she took leaves, which I've done before, but you flatten them in the fall, you put them in a book, and you flatten them and let them dry out. Then she was painting on them.
Wow.
And what I'm doing is taking the ones I had to class at William Cashin Center and giving them to the students, I call them, and having them paint the colors that are in these leaves. Because face it, in the fall, there's so many colors of red, brown,
Yeah.
yellow, green. But she just did a great job, and I just wanted to say thank you and keep trucking, Joan.
Good. Anthony, tell us, when is your show on?
My show is on. You know, it's a good question because in fact, I was going to ask Brendan about that. I don't know if it's the same time because I haven't watched it. So when I'm home, I'll go from the list. No, I just don't watch my own show that often. But my time, I'm going to have to get up and find out what times and days my shows are on. I
You
just
don't know?
have it. No, I don't. I just, once the show is done, that's it.
Well, it's the same for me, but I know it's, Wednesday 5 to 6.
Yeah.
Is Norm's Friends, and I'm here. You know,
RX, yeah, I'll have to find out again when my show's on a certain time.
Are you beginning to become lost?
No, not lost. I've just got so much going, and I just,
That's right, I forgot. You do.
I do have
you
a
do
lot
have a
on my
lot
mind.
going
Well,
on.
I'm dealing with all kinds of stuff. I've told you
Yeah.
some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But what I'll do is when I'm home and I'll look at the list I have on my wall, just make sure the times are the same, and then I'll let everybody know.
So, and what day is it on, at least? Do you know?
I know it's on Mondays, Tuesday, Thursdays, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But I don't know the times now. I just, once I do a show, it's done. So I move on to something else.
Yeah, but when do you come to the studio? Do you know that?
Yeah, I come to the. Oh, you mean it's at 2:00 is when I shoot?
Yeah, that's what I meant. When are you here?
Yeah, I'll be
Are
here.
you live?
Yeah,
When you're here?
yeah,
Like
And
this,
then,
live?
right.
All right, when's your live show?
yeah. Be this coming Wednesday. Used to be on Tuesdays at 2:00. Now it's Wednesday at 2:00.
Oh.
And it's a half hour. I have artists from all over. I've had
Nice.
3 people on my show that years later went on to be international artists.
Wow, nice.
In fact, I just got an email from one that goes to India and does mosaics, working with Indian children, American children, South America, China, everybody. They all gather and do their thing.
Wow.
I'll see what he's going to do. He lives in New Hampshire.
Huh.
So, and
Very interesting.
yeah. But it's funny because somebody says, "What time's your show?" And I go, "Well, I shoot at 2." Well, I just don't. I don't know. Just the way I am, kind of like doing a mural. I don't want to keep going back to it. Once it's done, it's done.
There you go.
Yeah.
I know.
But I'll get that straightened out. I'll get a hold and see if I can look it up. I'm sure that I can, and find out what the time and go from there.
Sounds good.
But I shoot twice a month, and it's at 2:00. It lasts till 2:30. Then the following Wednesday, and then the second Wednesday after that. So I shoot about twice a month.
And they show it at different times, though?
Mhm. Yeah, I just want to make sure the times and the days are the same that I had logged. That's a good question. I'm glad you asked me. Now I'll go home and check it out and see if they're still on the same time or not.
Right, and let me know, and next week I'll
Okay.
inform everyone
Sure.
when they can tune in to watch the hardest working artist going.
Yeah, I started doing this in 2009, and when it was MCAM, and I met a whole group of good people down there, and
You've been doing it there since 2009?
2009. And a lot of times, when I first started out, I didn't get a copy of a DVD,
Mm-hmm.
but now I do. That way, I can send them out to my relatives, my cousins, and friends, and mail them to them
Yeah.
because I love coming up here. I mean, they got a good crew here. They put up with us.
That's right, that's
Yeah.
for sure, I know.
I have a good time. I enjoy it. But
Good.
I'll have that all figured out.
So now tell us any fairs coming up or any expositions
yeah.
or stuff
It's-
like that?
Not exactly settled on the day it's going to start, but we're going to have a spring show. The Bedford Crafters Guild.
Ah.
I got juried in, I think it's 7 years ago. It's the first time they allowed artists, painters, to come in. And they're going to have a show. I'll have more info probably next time I come on, or maybe
Mhm.
Mary's show. And I'll give you a ticket. and it'll have
Oh.
the exact date, because it takes a lot to plan these out, because there is online sales, which is very complicated. Oh boy. And then there's in-shop, which you can go to the Bedford Library, and in the back, the old Craft Workers Guild, they have the merchandise right there. And I'm going to see what I can do and get back some info and let everybody know.
Good.
It's fun, you know. It gives me
Yeah.
something to do. I mean, I'm not a big TV person anymore. I mean, I'm happy with me TV, and people go, "Well, you're retired. You should do this, do that." Well, no. I have my own TV, my own rock and roll, what I like, what I don't like.
And me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm no spring chicken, but I'm not dead yet. You know.
That's me, and
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but well, I'm semi-retired, but I think about, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. Where does the time go?
Fast.
It's unbelievable. It's like,
It is. Time goes by a lot quicker, and I know that every fall I say, okay, winter's coming. I'm just going to paint, 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 paint. Well, like every winter, I have a slow start. So when just before spring, I'll get that energy again. I let the whole winter go without doing a whole lot of artwork. But I'm working on my homeless, paintings of the homeless here in Manchester and everywhere.
RoboCop, is that still in the works?
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to let you forget about RoboCop.
But listen to this one. I'm working on one. I'm reading the official reports from the United States Air Force on UFO abductions and what these beings look like and descriptions, and they had their artists, sketch them and paint them up. So I'm going through all their files, and I'm going to come up with several paintings dealing with aliens. I listened to a woman
I'm
last
interested
night.
with that myself.
It's pretty. I listened to this woman. She's in her 60s. When she was 7 years old, she claimed she was 5 years old, 6 years old. She was abducted.
Mm-hmm.
And I had kind of like, 5 or 6 years old, were your parents there? So you got to kind of listen to her to see.
Yeah.
And then she says by the time she was 8 years old, they took her aboard a craft. She described them,
Yeah.
said their skin, they were very tall, very thin, huge heads, huge eyeballs, and almost every report has the same thing, large skulls with the
Yeah.
big eyes. She said they showed her when she was 8 years old that the earth was going to be destroyed, and she's telling the story, and you sit there and you don't know whether to believe her or not. So what I do is I take a lot of this in, I filter through it.
Uh-huh.
But you figure Betty and Barney Hill, and when I went to get my hair cut last week, I run into a new barber because where I usually go was so busy, and I just didn't want to sit there, so I got out and I run into this place. She told me that New Hampshire's famous for Betty and Barney Hill, which I knew they were, being abducted, and the
I
things that
saw
they
that on
just
TV. I remember I was young. I was a kid. I said, wow. I
because
loved it.
the things that they described, the Air Force backed them up because they described galaxies and what made
Yeah.
that galaxy stick out from other galaxies, and you know what I mean. So it's
Yeah.
very, very interesting. But there was also somebody in Exeter, New Hampshire, that was taken aboard too, and I got to research and find out more about that.
I wouldn't mind. I
No.
don't think.
Just like
As long as they bring me back.
yeah, it depends on, are they demons or are they aliens or are they both? You got to be careful.
Well, that's true too. I didn't even think of that. But
Yeah.
hey, I just wanted. This is a quick aside because people are going to hear about this, and it's kind of sad in a way, but I can see it. People, you'll hear about it in the news or read it in the paper or online or something. But sadly, there's going to be a fire somewhere. I could see the firemen extinguishing the fire, and also he's saving the family's cat and dog. This fireman, you clear as a
Here in
bell.
Manchester?
our surrounding, but
Yeah.
we'll hear about, we'll either see it on the news or read it on the news. One or the other, but it's clear as anything. They're nice and, strong, so.
Here's something I got to throw in there too, a little
Yeah.
trivia. Well, going through these files from the 40s and the 50s, because for 70 years the government has been hiding a lot.
They have.
And they didn't want, for 70 years, they didn't want anybody to know anything at that time.
They
Well, they're
really
starting to
did.
release a little bit now. But remember the actor and comedian Jackie Gleason?
Yeah, I do.
He
I remember
got
him.
called to the White House during the Nixon administration to go and be part of a special group to watch the videos that the United States government, actually NASA, had prepared. And when he came out, he started talking about it, and he got a little tap on the door. Jackie, be quiet.
Really?
So, oh yeah, be
I
quiet.
believe it.
Yeah. There's
I
things
believe
going
in all
on that
that
we have
stuff.
no idea. No idea what's going on. Oh yeah, in Siberia.
Yeah.
Well, you know the Euphrates River is drying up, and they took some microphones and they stuck them down in the way down, and
Mm-hmm.
they very disturbing noises. Anyway,
What, in the dried up river?
beneath, below,
Oh.
has to do with the Book of Enoch.
Oh, okay.
Okay, demons and this.
I gotta get into
Well, the
that.
same thing is going on in Siberia. A bunch of scientists from around the world
Uh-huh.
got into Siberia. They went 14.4 kilometers into the earth,
Wow. Yeah.
and they did some tape recordings, and they released them. And it's almost, it sounds exactly like what's going on with the Euphrates River. The Bible says in the end days it will dry up, and there'll be 100 million man army march across that river.
Which is what, China?
World War III. It's hard to say. I think it's going to be a conjunction of China, Russia, and Iran. But we're going to wait and see.
Well, if I'm not here for World War III, I'll be
you'll be here for World War
I'll be in the
IV.
spirit world. Well, I'll be in the spirit world, and I'm gonna manipulate World War III,
All right.
just so everyone knows. So,
I mean, we got a lot of crazy things going on.
if people that are in my favor now come World War III, they'll still be in my favor. Cross me now, come to World War III, look out.
Well, it's just like Putin. He's the kind of guy you want to take out in the Serengeti plain and have him hunt a lion. As he steps out of the truck, you hand him a high-powered BB gun, say, see you in 15 minutes.
Right?
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Well, we got 2 minutes left. Again, Anthony, how can they get a hold of you? By the way.
My email address is amwpaints26@yahoo.com.
Great work. Great artist. Check them out. Me, David Spee, the Reading Sky, 603-404-9338. Tarot, crystal ball, psychic, mediumship, whatever. Get in touch, biffid@yahoo.com. We don't have a lot of time left. I want to thank my guest, Anthony, for coming in with this beautiful painting on the
Wood.
half wood and half bark, because the bark is still
I
on
like
it.
that, though. That's
I do
nature.
too. We don't have a lot of time left, and please, 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 always, always, always remember 2 things. 1, you can't be dumb if you want to be free. Check it out at Energy Lady. And above all, remember, you are a winner.